Oh Lord, here we go. What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Hey, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We are here for the real. Oh, no, we're not. We are not here for the Real Housewives of nothing. We are here for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Season 10, episode 16. I feel like. I don't know. Um, am I in the right one? Yeah, I'm in Huntsville. What's up, Chucky? Hey, boo. Look, y'all. It ain't but three things I really want to talk about in this episode. First of all, why are we getting ready to go on another hiatus until March? Didn't we just come back from a hiatus like a month ago? Didn't we just start new episodes in November? Child Carlos, do what you do with this show. Like, at this point, Love and Marriage Huntsville is his cash cow. And it's just like he gonna run it into the ground. Like, you don't give us enough time. You don't give us clear, defined seasons. You don't give us time to miss it when you do take it away. And honestly, if I'm being very honest, this trailer actually does make me want to like this trailer actually makes me want to wait for what they're gonna bring us in March. But I just don't understand why we gotta wait 3 months. Well, 2 months, whatever. Why are we going on hiatus again? Like, we literally just got back and we didn't even get a new episode through the holiday. Anyway, whatever, Mark. Whatever, whatever, Carlos. Whatever y'all doing over there. So there's really only three things in this episode I want to talk about. So we have Tisha and Marcel throwing an 80s party. So first of all, I thought it was a great idea. I love it. I love how they went full on into it. Even with Tisha and her offbeat rapping, I thought it was a cute concept. And I love that everybody went all in, right? Whether they got stylists to help them do it, whatever. Hey, Ravine, thank you, boo. Whatever they did, I love the fact that we got a full on. Everybody was all in on it, right? Now, for some people, they got personalized invitations. For others, they got a text message or they got a phone call. Now, let me say this. Here's where we see the Love and Marriage diverts away from a Housewives franchise. We have seen invitations on Housewives franchises that have gone all out. I mean, we've seen mimes, we've seen royal courts delivering messages, we've seen butterflies. Like, we have seen it all. So I think for those of us that are used to that situation, I think we were like, girl, if you're gonna do it for one, you need to do it for all. Like, if you didn't want to do it personally, you should have paid somebody. But you're gonna send some people a text message, and others you're gonna do this whole production. It read what it ended up really being, which was petty. Tisha, you too old for this, and we're gonna get to this later on when we get to your mama. But Tisha, you are too old for this petty shit. Like, if you're gonna invite them or you're not, and we know you're gonna invite everybody. You have to invite everybody. Got it. But I thought that was real petty and real passive aggressive, especially when it came to Destiny. Now with Nell, I still felt like it was petty, but at least with Nell, okay, y'all, like, Nell, lucky you invited her. But Destiny, girl, like Destiny said, I thought we cleared all this up at the winery. Like, what are we doing? But Tisha, what I'm gonna say is this: you had a chance at a second act. And you are proving to be exactly who people said you were. We're going to get to that, what you did with your mama. Because even when you told Marcel, I'm going to let my mama handle it. I'm not arguing with Nell. I'm going to let my mom handle Nell. Marcel knew exactly what you were doing. And that's why he said, well, I guess you're going to get the devil to fight your battles. He knew exactly what you were doing. And that shit's not cute. And again, we're going to get to that in a minute with Miss Wanda. Because like I said, I don't have but three things to talk about with this episode. We had a little quick scene with Nell and Chris basically talking about the invitation and how Chris felt like it was weird that all he got was a text. He didn't even get a phone call, which he should have, because I'm sure he found out that Marcel and Tisha were hand delivering invitations in limos. Like, I'm sure he knew. So him saying it was weird, I don't think it was so much him saying it was weird as much as it was him saying, I know they didn't do this for everybody. That's how I feel. I feel like that's what he was saying was, I know they ain't do this for everybody. You know what I mean? Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I gotta get my tea. All right. Now, let's get to the party. They had Miss Wanda on the red carpet being messy. So this is what I'm going to say about the Miss Wanda of it all. Wanda was fired from the show because of an altercation that took place between her and Melody. People could say Melody insisted that it happened. People could say production made their own decision. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't care. But what I am going to say is, to production, be very careful. Because Wanda did not learn a lesson from being fired. I know it bothered her. I know she missed it. I know she hated that she wasn't on the show anymore, right? But she didn't learn a lesson. It seems like she's messier and she's more emboldened. And she's gonna burn all of y'all. Like, it's fun when y'all give her this red carpet with the microphone to say, hey, be messy. Ask messy questions. Be messy. But it's kind of like that kid that you let show off, and when it's just y'all, it's funny until company come over and now you're embarrassed. And that's what Tisha found out. And again, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Everybody, having a little red carpet, having a correspondent on the red carpet. I thought it was a cute idea. I thought it was real cute how you had the people, you were interviewing them as they were coming in. And even the messy questions. Okay, cool. It was messy. Wanda asked Lance about Destiny. Wanda asked, she flirted with Will. Wanda asked, he asked Martell, and kudos to Martell for how he answered the question, because Martell could have easily gone left and been messy, but he didn't. He stuck to what him and Marceau said they were going to do. They weren't going to do it anymore. They weren't going to throw jabs at each other anymore. And I respect the fact that he didn't go there with Wanda, right? The stuff with Kimmy and Maurice, when she asked about the Vegas thing, I'm not even mad at her about asking about that, because again, Kimmy and Maurice have done, the four of them, Kimmy, Maurice, Tisha, and Marceau, have not addressed it, at least not to the satisfaction of the viewers. And I'm one of the viewers, so I'm gonna speak for me. Not to my satisfaction. I don't feel like it was addressed. So I'm not even mad at her asking those messy questions, right? So we get into the party, everybody's dancing, whatever. Thing number 3 I want to discuss. Destiny. For all of those people who thought I was overreacting and I was making a big deal out of nothing when I talked about Destiny and these men, and how Destiny must just be that desperate for a check because she is allowing them to make her look like a hoe. I hope you understand, and what happened at this party, I hope you understand why I wasn't overreacting. Destiny was the joke of that entire party. The way those men sat in that corner and talked about Destiny, And let's be clear, I truly don't believe that. I do not believe that Destiny slept with any of those men. Maybe Lance, don't know. But, well, no, not Lance either. I believe that she didn't sleep with those men. But the fact that you literally went on a date with all of those men, it's not a good look. And again, I mean, to the point where they play rock, paper, scissors. Yes, guys are doing what guys are doing, but that's the point. Destiny, why have you allowed yourself to be reduced to locker room talk? Why have you allowed yourself to be reduced to who's Destiny bringing? Oh, it's your turn. Oh, we're gonna spin the wheel to see whose turn it is to bring Destiny tonight. Well, oh, is she gonna show up with a new man? Oh, I don't know, because all of us are here. She must be getting ready to bring somebody different. You don't want to be that person, Destiny. You don't, not even for a paycheck. And here's the reason why. Because a lot of viewers can't separate the fact from the fiction. Look at how toxic this show got over certain people on the show. The viewers, especially the viewers on this show, they can't separate fact from fiction. So even if it's just a joke, even if Destiny's in on the joke, even if it's just for a paycheck, even if it's just, I don't care. It's not a good look. Ty said, I disagree. Dating is just that, dating. I don't care about Destiny dating. I care about Destiny dating 4 men in the same group, in the same friend group. That's what I care about. And when I say care, I don't mean I'm losing no sleep care. I mean for the purposes of the conversation. I agree. Destiny is dating. She's a young woman. She's single, and she has every right to date whoever she wants to date. What I'm saying is, when you're dating multiple people in a single friend group, it's not a good look. And people can say, well, she has a right to do. You're right. She has a right to date whoever she wants to date. What I'm saying is, it's not a good look, and it's not. It's not. I don't think she's sleeping with all of those men. And I'm being honest, I don't even think she's really dating them. I think she did it for the show. I don't even believe that Destiny is really messing. I just don't. Now, with Lance, you found out that the bodyguard was Lance's god brother. In my opinion, that should have been the end of that. It shouldn't have gone any further. It should have been like, oh, well, damn, I didn't know. And that should have been the end of it, in my opinion. As far as Will is concerned, Will isn't connected to those guys. I mean, he knows them because they all live right there together. So I'm not even saying in the Will aspect of it, she was necessarily quote unquote wrong. But again, what I'm saying though is, when you talk about all of them are in this same circle, it's just not going to be a good look. That's it. And I think Destiny is a beautiful woman, and I just don't think she has to do this. And the fact that, in my opinion, she allowed production to, they could have given her like they gave her the Lance storyline with the dating thing. Even if it was Will, I wouldn't even been tripping so much if it was just Will. But to throw Twan in the middle and then throw the Will part of it in, that's where I'm like, Destiny, girl. But again, I don't think she's sleeping with all those men. I don't think she's doing that. But it's just, I didn't, as a woman, I just didn't like it. I didn't like watching it. And I feel like she opened up the door to it. I just didn't like watching them. And I mean, that is outside of this argument we about to get to in a minute with Wanda and Miss Nell. That is the only conversation we heard the whole night, was about Destiny, them making jokes about Destiny. Destiny was the butt of, and again, I'm talking about production wise. I'm not talking about the whole party, because I'm sure they had a good time. I'm sure other conversations were had. But I'm just saying, I don't like the fact that she was the butt of every joke that they showed us on this episode. Outside of the argument that with Nell and Miss Wanda, what else did we see that night? What other conversations were had that night that we saw? That's all. And I like Destiny. Right, Ty. That's all I'm saying, boo. I believe you're right. Destiny has every right to date, and she really has every right to date who she wants to. But we're just talking about perception. We don't have to like the perception and how things go. We just have to know that that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Rule number 4080. Love and marriage Huntsville men are shady. Right. But anyway, so yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Miss Wanda and Nell situation. Tisha, you started all of that and everything is your fault. I don't care what Miss Wanda said. I mean, I do. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I do care what Miss Wanda said. But what I mean is you gave Miss Wanda the permission to do what she did, to go as low as she went, and to say the things that she said. The problem is you can't control that monster. You thought you had the monster on a leash, and what you didn't realize was the monster knew how to take that leash off whenever they felt like it. So Miss Wanda did what you wanted her to do, said what you wanted her to say, so she could get in that room, get her job back, whatever conversations were had behind closed doors. And once she got in that room, once she got back where she was trying to get back to, baby, she took that collar off and now she is unleashed and you can't control her because you have given her the power because you said, go get Nell. That's what you said to your mother. You said, go get her. And I hate to reduce Miss Wanda to like a dog, but you sicked Miss Wanda on Nell. The problem was you never envisioned that your mother would go as low as your mother went. And your mother went low. And let me tell y'all something. I know I've been giving Miss Nell a lot these last couple of weeks because Miss Nell been acting up these last couple of weeks, in my opinion. But if Miss Nell had jumped across that table and drug Wanda by that motherfucking French roll, I wouldn't have said nothing about it. I'd have been like, oh well. Because the minute you brought up that woman's mother and then made the comment about her having, unresolved issues with her mom and don't take it out on us. And I'm really proud of Miss Nell that she didn't. Because I'm kind of shocked. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of shocked. And I'm going to be honest. It would have been your fault, Tisha. If Nell had put her hands on your mama, you would have had to eat that. Because yes, the words came out of Miss Wanda's mouth and she was wrong. But baby, you'd have had to eat that. Because you put her in that position and you gave her the power to say what she wanted to say because you even said, well, you can argue with her because I'm not going to argue with her. You can argue with my mother because she likes to yell like you like to yell. I have always felt like Wanda, like, have I been amused by Wanda? Yes, I have. I'm not going to lie. But I have always felt like Wanda, the more attention she got, the more people talked about, oh, Miss Wanda, oh, Miss Wanda, oh, Miss Wanda, the more animated she got. It was like she craves that attention. And at this point, she doesn't care whether it's good attention or bad attention. She craves the attention. I've been around Miss Wanda. I've seen it in real time. When they came to DC and she was with Marcella, I saw her. Everybody that recognized her, everybody that wanted a picture with her, everybody that said, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. She ate it. It was like the monster got bigger and bigger and bigger. She craves it. She needs that attention. And that's a dangerous person because Tisha, you think you're controlling your mother and you're using your mother as your weapon, but you're not. I don't care for Wanda. She's too much. Some of what she said is correct. I lost my mother and father, but I can't treat other people wrong and blame their death for my behavior. Again, I ain't giving Nell no passes because I do think that Nell uses her mom's passing. She's got some grief that she's got to process, right? But who the fuck are you, Miss Wanda? I don't remember anybody asking for your opinion. But again, in that scene, what really my biggest issue in that scene was Tisha using her mother as that weapon. You didn't want to talk to Nell or whatever the situation is. And so you used your mom as a weapon against Nell. Now, somewhere in that, and I think that because I believe that scene was edited somewhere in there, by the time we got to the end, Nell was apologizing to Tisha. I don't know how we got there, but okay, girl. So somewhere in there, Nell was apologizing to Tisha. Wanda didn't have to say it, but it doesn't mean it's not true. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even saying that Nell, because again, y'all know how I feel about Nell and her fits. Nell got some shit with her. I don't take back nothing I said about Nell as far as her behavior and her yelling and her fits. But I just feel like Wanda, I'm just not going to jump on the bandwagon with Wanda. I'm just not going to jump on that bandwagon. Now let's get to this last scene with Maurice and Kimmy. I said what I said last week, and I still feel how I feel about last week's episode. In my opinion, my non-medical, non-therapist connected, I don't have a degree in nothing. I don't know. I'm just telling you my opinion. I believe that Maurice has a sex addiction. And as a result of his sex addiction, he's getting ready to lose his marriage. In that conversation, what Maurice was telling Kimmy was he's not compromising. He's not meeting in the middle. He doesn't want to find a way to meet in the middle with her. He doesn't want to have sex less. He wants her to go back to when they were having sex 3 or 4 times a day. Now, I heard somebody say, I was listening to another reviewer, and they said something along the lines of, you can't do something to get a man that you're not going to do to keep a man. To a certain extent, I understand that to be a fact, right? You can't get them one way and then you can't keep it up. I get that. But sex, I don't put sex on that level. And the reason why is because most people have the honeymoon phase. Most people have the I love you, let's have sex. Oh my gosh, every time I see you, I want to rip your clothes off. Most people have that. And then it sort of wanes off into a comfortable place. Most people. I mean, I can't speak for every relationship in the world, but y'all in the chat, it's 150 of y'all in the chat. Y'all tell me, if you've been in a long-term relationship, even if it wasn't marriage, if you've been in a long-term relationship, and in the beginning, yes, you have sex a lot. You have sex a lot. And then it wanes off to a place of comfortable. Now, are there times when men complain that they're not having sex enough as much as they want to? Yeah, I've heard men complain about that all the fucking time. But what I also know is men talk a lot of shit that they can't go through it. In their mind, they want to have sex until it's time. And then it's like, ooh, Jesus, okay. And I feel like, and then when I heard what Kimmy said, well, when we were having sex like that, we weren't seeing each other every day. That makes a difference too. Because remember, at the time when they were dating early on, Kimmy had a son, had a full-time job. Maurice was doing whatever the hell Maurice was doing. They probably weren't seeing each other every single day. So yeah, when they saw each other, it probably was, let's get it in 3-4 times a day. Let's have sex and then let's get something to eat. Let's have sex and then let's watch a movie, Netflix and chill. And then we get to playing around. The next thing you know, we done had sex again. And then we fall asleep, wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I guess it was like that. Now, to be fair, on the flip side, I have to be fair on the flip side and say, before y'all got married though, Kimmy, and Maurice did say that. He said, well, why did you marry me then? Because this is who I was. Because she said, well, and my desire, and see, this is where I think Kimmy was being disingenuous. And this is where I wish that Kimmy was more articulate in that conversation. Because you didn't stop wanting to have sex with Maurice because he's no longer working with his hands. I'm sure there's a part of the sex of the sex appeal that's gone because that did turn you on. I get that. But that was gone. We met Maurice. Maurice was already working in the office wearing suits every day. That's before when we met y'all weren't married yet. So to be fair, when Maurice said, well, then why did you marry me? Because this is who I was. He's right. He is right. But I wish that what Kimmy has said, because I feel like what was closer to the truth is you have no longer got me here, so my body no longer responds. And something else that she said, I don't know if y'all caught it, but something else that she said that made me a little nervous I don't know if nervous is the right word, but cautious or whatever, is when she said, yeah, but you didn't used to get angry. You get angry now when we don't have sex. That's dangerous. So he's getting upset when you're not giving him sex. So Kimmy, and I'm being so serious right now, you guys, I am not playing in any way, shape, or form. So Kimmy, are you having sex with your husband because you don't want to deal with the anger? And are you just rolling over and, as they say in The Color Purple, let him do his business because you don't want to deal with the attitude? That's dangerous. And I'm not being funny. I'm not being melodramatic. If you are having sex with that man because his reaction when you don't have sex is anger, and you don't want to deal with the anger, that is a dangerous place where y'all are in y'all's marriage. And I started off by saying that Maurice is willing to lose his marriage rather than find a way to meet her in the middle. And to me, that's an addiction. When you think about a drug addict, an alcoholic, a gambleaholic, when you think about people that have an addictive behavior, they will know that they are losing important things in their life and they can't stop themselves. For Maurice to say, I am willing, because that's what he was saying. Now, I don't know what y'all heard, but I know what I heard. Even to the point where production was like, Maurice, say it. Now, I don't know why production was so vested in Maurice saying it. They was just trying to get a scene out of it. But basically, that's what Maurice was saying. Like, if you don't come to my way of thinking, this probably ain't going to end well for us. And when Kimmy was like, just go on and say it. Say what you got to say. And he was like, I'm not saying it. Go on and say it, though. Say it, bro. No, I'm not going to say it. And yes, I didn't want to use the word abusive, but that is abusive. That is abusive. What's up, Tracy? How you doing, boo? Unpopular opinion. I think Maurice needed to say it. It's not an unpopular opinion. I think Maurice needs to say it too. But here's the reality of the situation. Kimmy, you already know you know what he's saying. You know what he's saying. But I agree. He need to just come right out and say it. Because the reality is, and this is why, this is when I jumped, because Kimmy, y'all know Kimmy used to be my favorite. I used to love me some Kimmy. But when Kimmy went through cancer and that man didn't have enough compassion for you to leave you the fuck alone in a sexual manner while you were going through chemotherapy, and then when you brought it to his attention, his response was basically that he ain't really give a damn. He didn't have no problem tapping you on your shoulder while you were laying in the bed. See, Kimmy, if that wasn't enough for you to walk away, I don't know what's going to be enough for you to walk away. So that's why I say that it's going to have to come from Maurice, because if we was going to wait for Kimmy to do it, she ain't going to do it. And like she said, well, why are we paying for therapy then? Why are we wasting money on therapy if you're not trying to help figure out a happy medium and figure out a way for us to process through it? Why are we doing this? Raven, go get your sorrow up. Ty said to me, he been saying it. I don't feel like he's been saying it directly, but in last night's episode, he said it directly, in my opinion. And that's why I said last week, I don't even think at this point it's a sexual desire as much as he's just trying to have the release. I don't think it's about Kimmy. Like, oh, I love my wife. I love Kimmy. She's so sexy, which I do believe. I believe Kimmy's a beautiful woman. I don't think that's what it's about, though. I think it's just the release. And it's not just the release of him pleasuring himself. He needs to feel a woman. And if he isn't already in them streets, he gonna be. What house did she lose? Who lost the house? I don't know nothing about a house. Right. He would do it with anybody. I think he just needs that release, but I think he needs to be, not to be crass, but I think he needs to be inside of a woman. I don't think him pleasuring himself gets him the high that he needs. I think maybe it works temporarily, but he needs, and he said in the episode last night, he basically said, and Kimmy, if you ain't gonna do it, we can't, this not gonna work. He was in them streets when he ran into them trees. Well, Kimmy, just let him cheat in peace. If you're not going to leave, I think everyone would understand. But that was pretty much all I had, y'all. Look, I came home today and I was going to watch this episode earlier, and I was going to give y'all, baby, when I tell y'all I sat in this chair and I fell asleep and I slept for about 2 hours. I had a crook in my neck and everything. Baby, I was in this chair knocked out. And I knew I was tired. I didn't sleep well last night. So I knew I was tired. But baby, I woke up and it was like 5:30. I had ordered groceries. Look, I had ordered groceries on the plane to be delivered. When I got home, the groceries weren't here. I woke up, I had a screenshot of my groceries on the porch. I said, damn. Did Kimmy sell her house because of a lien that was put on by loans? I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. GC, I don't know anything about it. I don't understand staying either. Kimmy, you are older. You don't have any children. You make your own money. I mean, I understand affairs of the heart. I get it. I get that part. But baby, it ain't worth your peace. I mean, if you can't even lay in your bed in peace, if you can't even walk around your house in peace without worrying about your man trying to jump on your ass. Auntie Didi said Maurice's need for sex is more than his need to have Kimmy as his wife. Facts. All right, you guys. We are gonna do Potomac. So let me get off of here so I can watch the episode. We'll be back in about an hour-ish. I think I set it for 9:20. So we'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes to do Housewives of Potomac. How old is Maurice? He's gonna lose his mind when his ED. Right. And that's what I'm saying, correct. And I'm sure there's a part of Kimmy that was like, damn, I didn't think you would be able to do all of this. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I gotta take this call anyway. Peace. Hello. Hey. Yeah, I was going to look.